What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the Roulette ATM Lab, where we show you how to become professional gamblers using the game of roulette as your own ATM. Welcome, guys. We've got a fantastic session for you guys surrounding playing single numbers on the board. We're going to show you how we manage our money through these if we see losses, but ultimately, we're going to walk away with some profit. We're looking to make $200 in profit today, playing a string of bets, playing straight up numbers. So, the way we're going to do this is I've got written down here the different strategies or number patterns that I'm going to be playing, um, and everything's going to be starting unit of $1. So this is going to be based off a $1,000 bankroll, and I'll show you guys how we play um, these selection of numbers to get to our profit target of 200. So our first strategy on the board is basically playing all the numbers that sit on the east coast of the zero. So we're going to play all of these ones out to get to our target. So we got 0, we've got 15, 21, 19. We've got, where are we? We've got 32, we've got 27, 25, we've got 34, 36, we've got 17, 13, we've also got 6 and 2. Um, now, rightio. So we're going to play these numbers out now. These are all the numbers that sit basically between the 0 and the 5 on the board. And we're basically looking to get a hit here, and then we're going to move on to our next strategy. So bingo, there's our first hit. So $17 profit off the bat. So we can write that down. Fantastic. Now we're going to move on to our next covered number strategy, which will be just simply the numbers that are surrounding the 0 on the board. So now we're going to play those numbers now and see if we can get a hit on here. Obviously, if we get a miss, we'll show you how we manage our way towards getting a win. Right, yeah, so that's a 11. No worries. So let's just raise it by 1 unit, and we'll go for another hit here. Remember, we're basing this off a $1,000 bankroll, so we keep track of where we're at bankroll wise as we go through these different progressions. Rightio, no worries. Let's just raise all these numbers now by 1, and we will show you how we manage our way through this. But there we go. That's a 26. So 75. So let's have a look. Our session profit now is at $59. So we'll write that one down. Perfect. Now we're going to move on to our next strategy. Now we're going to be playing the numbers that are surrounding the number 5 on the board. So we should have 11 numbers there. So now we're surrounding the 5 on the board, and hopefully we get a hit on these. But remember, our goal is 200. We're going to walk through this managing our bets as we go. So we're not going to be rushing to raise the bets here. We're going to do some strategic managing, and if we ever get a little bit deep in it, I'll show you how we can also use some hedge bets to not necessarily break even, not necessarily to make profit, but to slow the time down and reduce the amount of loss that we're experiencing during the time of hitting these numbers. So, rightio, let's just raise this, raise these. Rightio, that we're at $3 on all of these 3 units on all these numbers now. 15, no worries. And like as you go through these strategies, you always end up making a lot more money. The sort of the deeper you get into these strategies. Right, yeah, let's go for another hit there. Radio 5, right in the middle of where we got covered here. So that's $100 win. So we're at 93 now. That's 93. Radio. Now we're going to play these numbers here. The beautiful thing about playing these numbers is we've actually got less numbers covered, which means our progression doesn't grow as quickly, but we're able to implement different hedging styles, considering we've only got 8 numbers covered. So radio, no worries, 18. So now we're basically got a clustered section on the east coast of the board that we have covered. So just raising by 1 unit now. So we're only covering 8 numbers here, between the green numbers and the last, basically between the last 2 strategies we played. Rightio, so let's just raise these now by 1 unit. There we go. And I'll show you a fantastic way that we can hedge these if we need, but it doesn't look like we need to. 84, 153. But I would like to just demonstrate, I won't spin the wheel, but the way that these numbers sit on the board, if you do go on a dry streak, one of my favorite techniques for these is placing these numbers on the streets. These numbers all sit in alignment on the street, so whenever you get into a particular situation where hedging becomes something, you can throw these out there. And I recommend really doing the math, depending on how deep you're getting into it, to really slow the progression down. I'd be looking at doing the math of what chip size you need out there, and the goal isn't to make a profit with these hedges. The goal is to reduce the amount of loss. So if you've got say, for example, you've got a $50 total bet out there, well, then your target would be to reduce the loss to $25, to buy yourself time and to keep your bankroll alive. These are the situations where I would use these, whether you know, you use them on a street, or you use them on a double street like that. But there's a perfect situation where these numbers sit side by side, and you can use this strategy quite well to basically slow the process down. And hopefully, when you do get a hit, you will get both anyway. So that's sort of one way I would use that strategy if it got a little bit deeper into the progression. But there we go, we're at 538. So now we're going to cover some numbers that sit on the west side of the zero. So we're going to be covering the 9, we're going to cover the 7, we're going to cover the 14, the 18, the 22, the 29, the 31, and we've got 7 covered there. And what I might do is I might cover the 28 and also the 20. So these all sit in a clustered section along that board. So let's take a spin here. 3 radio, no worries. So we are playing clustered numbers, and the reason I like playing these clustered numbers is because we have a large section of the board covered, but we also have the ability to pick up some pretty decent profit when it comes to covering these numbers. So that's a 28, which we had covered. That picks us up 198 with $2 shy of our target profit, which was 800. Fantastic. So this next strategy, basically what we're going to do is we're going to pick a line. We're going to take a look at the history board here for a little bit of guidance. So let's just take a look. We've got 28 is in the first column. We've got 23 is the third column, 6 in the third column, 26 in the middle column, 18, 5, 15, 21. Right, yeah, I'm seeing a lot majority in that third column. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose the middle column. And basically we're just going to go for a hit on any of these numbers in the middle column. And yes, you could put $12 on the column itself, but we're going to play it like this. 23, so hit off the bat. So there we go, 24. And we basically hit our target profit, which was $200 off a $1,000 bankroll, playing these numbers. But there we go. That's a sort of number straight up, how you can play these different numbers. But key things you want to be looking for as you go through. For example, if you had these different strategies played out, in the notes, using my Roulette ATM book, in the notes here, I'd be, if it wasn't a demonstration of we were doing this to make profit, I'd be looking for absences. I'd be taking advantage of sections of the board that haven't hit, which means playing these in whatever order they fall into that. So, for example, the first strategy, we played half cast. That's pretty well. If we had a few hits on the west coast side of the zero, I'd probably be pretty happy to play this strategy, considering it covers a huge section of the board. But with the other ones where we don't have as many numbers covered, I'm going to be looking. So if I'm playing the green, the numbers surrounding the green, then I'm looking for, okay, none of these numbers have hit in the last 7 spins. Righty, I feel comfortable playing that now. So we'll play that strategy out. Same with the next one. We're covering the numbers around the 5. I'm looking for, radio, these numbers have been absent on the board now, for at least 7, 10 spins ideally on the board, before playing this. And the thing is, when you're really sitting there and you're wanting to make significant profit, well, patience is the key. No one ever said you had to bet every spin. So if you can sit and wait, miss a few spins if you need, um, to really get yourself the best chance, setting yourself up by having a string of these absent numbers, well then you can, position yourself to start playing a certain strategy, to enhance your chance of basically getting to hitting your target profit. Having the respect for roulette, is a big ordeal. Managing your money, knowing when to leave, um, is one of the hardest skills you're going to learn. Putting that pride aside, really manifesting your way through. Clear mind when you begin, um, and starting these sessions. But ultimately, the biggest edge we have here is our plan book. Having this tool in our arsenal is what's really skyrocketed